People, my people. Now, tonight I'd like to jump across my western border, so into South Australia, which I'm quite certain that the South Australians will get quite snobbish and tell you that Adelaide was the only Australian capital, mainland capital city that was actually founded without convicts being involved at some point. Even little Darwin, in its first iteration, which was Palmerston, British had 2 or 3 cracks at Darwin, actually involved a fair bit of convict labour. So I think Adelaide will get quite snobbish and say that, look, they're not like the rest of us, and there were no convicts. But having said that, something's tapping furiously at the back of my head going, dude, you're living in a city that wasn't founded by convicts. So I'm more likely getting things backwards. And to help me think straight and get my ideas straight about South Australia, I'm going to do 23rd Street, their gin and tonic, and it says it's their signature gin with tonic. So this is a really useful amount. It's 300 mils. So that damn lurgy, that damn gremlin. And of course, I've clipped my nails this week, so I go to open a can and I've clipped my nails, which means, yep, opening the cans just became an engineering question. So I have a nice big glass, and I am adding a nice big amount of a premix. Now, it's signature gin a bit, so that's basically already announced. It's a dry gin that's in this, which means it's going to be really good drinking for one of those baking hot summer days they get. And Adelaide and Perth, the southern end of the continent, we all get, with the possible exception of Hobart, because Hobart's got a whole lot of mountains to the north of it, which cool things down. It's the southern capitals, so Canberra, Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, Adelaide, all get pretty awful summer days. And these gins were basically invented for that. And yeah, I say, if you're in a situation where either bottles aren't allowed, like beaches or something like that, or you just don't want something that's going to break in your bag when you carry it around, this is going to be perfect. You want to go off to an event and just have a couple of nice G&Ts, or heaven forbid, at the end of a shockingly hot day, you just can't be stuffed making your own G&Ts. Can grab these babies. I haven't tried the 23rd Street as a gin by itself, so this is my first foray into it. Oh. And I'll say right now, without any prompting, if this premix, which is, I was taught that premix gins or ready-to-drink gins were made from the stuff that the distillers, for either economic or reasons, whatever other reasons, could not or would not tip down the drain. So they mix it with tonic or coal of some sort, and then plug it off to the unsuspecting. I am of the increasingly firm opinion that when it comes to gin and tonics and the distilleries that I'm reviewing, as in the Australian ones, that's simply not the case. These people are pedantic enough and passionate enough about the gins that they make that already the stuff that they put in for their ready drinks or premixes, is going to be pretty high quality anyway. I cannot and will not vouch for the imported stuff like Smirnoff Cruises and stuff like that, because to be honest with you, I've got more than a sneaking suspicion that given the amount of preservatives and flavorings that they whack into them, that if I was to drink them, I'd likely end up as sick as 2 dogs. And I assure you, a migraine that I would have if I was to drink some of the imported premixes would more likely make me wish desperately that I was hungover. So I am of the opinion that this is made from their top line product, their signature gin, and if you want a very quick, very easy way of taking the pain out of an equation, something that's a hot summer's day, a social gathering you don't particularly want to belong to, whatever, and you have the ability to pick up a couple of these, and they set me back about $25 in the Brighton Dan Murphy, because I thought Brighton's a superstore. I'd rock up to the superstore and go and of the opinion, the mistaken opinion, is it turned out that they have plenty of ready to drinks, and they don't. And I think the reason for that is that if you live in Brighton or Hampton, you're loaded enough to actually go out and buy the entire bottle. I will do a test and go into one of the perhaps the spotted off suburbs, and I would be working in the very strong assumption that there would be a lot more ready to drink drinks like this. Not necessarily gins, but just a truckload more ready to drinks. So yeah, hopefully there'll be a lot of gins. It'd be quite disappointing if it wasn't. So I might go down to Springvale, which is a couple of kilometers over my shoulders, and see what their RTDs are like, in an effort to bring you only the very best. So the TLDR version is that this is 23rd Street's ready to drink gin and tonic. It's made from their signature gin. They don't tell me what tonic they've used. It's likely to be Fever Tree, to be honest with you. It is extremely drinkable and the perfect way for taking the pain out of your equation, whether it's hanging out with the in-laws or a stinking hot summer's day, or just one of those days where you just can't be stuffed doing much of anything. So you order in pizza, have a couple of these in the fridge, they're ice cold, and knock it back and just sit back and blob. Put on something mindless on Netflix or Amazon Prime and just chill. Just turn yourself into mental, I don't know, froth. So thank you very much for watching. And I will do my very best to continue this line of RTDs, ready to drinks. And remember that t-shirt and bottle and booze are not going to give themselves away. Thank you for watching, and I got no idea what I'm going to be bringing you next week. I barely know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. When I'm so the week, the whole 7 days in advance, that's not going to happen. I'll catch you. I know one thing will be, if I'm alive and breathing, I'll be bringing you more reviews of the very best gin in the world. That's not that mass-produced English swill to its name I shall not disgust my mouth with. I'll catch you.